Alright, welcome to Songcast.com presentation. I'm Breaky CPK, and this is the Damia Sage of Stone EDH deck. Well, I'm not really Breaky CPK. This is Moxnix, and this is my Damia Sage of Stone EDH deck. Damia Sage of Stone. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. First of all, she's the best colors in the game. Take a look at that. Green, blue, black. That's right, recursion, extra turns, tutors out the butt, mana. If you want to play combo, this is the colors you want to run. Out of all the generals of this color, there's only 2 other ones, and she's by far the best for a combo type deck with that type of effect. We'll get straight to the lands. I got 2 of each basic land. These are the Ravenicas. These are foil lands. They look really cool. These are the Kawigama guys. Pretty cool. These are Mirrodin. And that's it for basic lands. I run 36 lands in this deck. I think that's more than enough. More than half my deck is mana. As far as including mana doublers, mana ramp, things like that. And then once you throw the tutors in, like maybe something like 60, more than 60 cards in the deck can get you mana, and you can easily get more than 3 sources in a hand probability-wise. The next lands here are Vivid lands. 1 of each. For the colors, they can also tap for any color twice, which in this deck, which is incredibly quick, is more than enough to probably win. They come to play tap, but they tap for any color, and they still have colored mana, so they are good to go. Some people don't like them because of the tapped, but they play dual lands that come into play tapped sometimes, so it's kind of interesting. These are bounce lands. They are awesome in this deck. A lot of people don't like bounce lands because they can get stripped really easily, and it's like a 2-for-1. Other things that kill them, bounce them, things like that. And this is true, and I target them the same way. But the fact of the matter is, they're worth it because you're only going to draw a certain amount of lands most of the time. And it's like 2-in-1. You can run less lands in your deck and open up slots by running these guys. Primeval Titan to bounce things back into your hand. A Vivid if you really need more charges, but that rarely happens. Usually a non-tap land if you have no lands in your hand and you're primevaling and you need to ramp up even 1 more land. It's really nice. They're also dual lands in that they produce 2 colors, which is really nice to have in the opening hand. Good with Azusa as well, and you can bounce and replay these guys. Notable that you should probably play something unless you want to discard before you cast them. Let's put these guys back over here with the use pile. Fetchlands. Fetchlands are great because of Crucible of Worlds. They're great because they go and get you the dual lands and let you have access to all your colors. So they are vital. This is the only non-real fetchland I run because it hits all my dual lands. It's Bad River. It comes into play tapped, but it hits all the duals. Also the basic islands and swamps. This gets your basic islands or any of your duels with blue in them. Scalding Tarn. Not as good as the overall duels, but still worth running because it's a instant into play on the dual lands. You can get them non-tapped. Very important with the Crucible, things like that. Marsh Flats is for black. Here are the bad boys that fetch all the duels plus the normal colors and come into play untapped. Misty Rainforest, Verdant Catacombs, Polluted Delta. Good to go. Fetchlands. Pretty important for the mana base. Good at balancing it out. The things you're going to be fetching are right here. First, we're going to go through Watery Grave, Overgrown Tomb, and Breeding Pool. And then their big brothers, Tropical Island, Underground Sea, and Bayou. Yes, these lands are freaking awesome, and you will be fetching them out, and they make playing all your cards successively turn by turn very easy. We're going to get some other lands out here. These are our other colored lands that are non-specific. One kind of random filter here for green-blue, which is important. This usually taps for almost all 3 colors. Exotic Orchard. At least 2. I play very common colors in my set, and people in my playgroup play my colors, so it comes into play on tap. Pretty much another command tower in my deck most of the time. You gotta pay for this guy. I don't play him online because it's actually a triggered ability, and you have to take the damage if you want to F8 and not click OK 1,000 times. But it's an awesome card because it taps for any color mana, and the 1 damage is more than manageable in a deck that tries to win as fast as mine does. This one's probably the best out of all of them. Well, it is. It taps for any color, comes right into play. I guess you can't fetch it. That's a negative to it compared to a duel, but it's amazing. And this guy's almost as amazing. Pretty much taps for 3 all the time, untapped land. Even if it doesn't, it's still going to tap for something relevant. Yeah, it's really good. Reflecting Fool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Next, we're going to get to utility lands. Reliquary Tower. Lots of ways to get more than 7 cards in this deck. It should be ran in almost every deck. I like it more in the Miri deck with like something like Necropotence, but Consecrated Sphinx in this deck or something of that nature. More than helpful for that. With the Azusa or the Krukable, pretty much with Krukable of Worlds, the Fetchlands and Strip Mine become recurable. And with the Azusa, it's triple recurable, so pretty much if you get like this with the Azusa or this with the Krukable, your first tutor can be for the other one, and you can lock someone out of the game. And if you get the Fetchlands, then you just start ramping, and when you hit your second tutor, you just go and get Walk the Aeons, and then you win the game. So, pretty strong openers when you get those cards. This is one of the nastiest ones. People hate this. You can kill the utility lands late game with it. Comes into play untapped. Bounce lands, 2-for-1s, things like that. Card's nasty. You should play it in pretty much every deck. Oh, I'm playing a combo deck, so it's important to be able to combo. And playing against counter spells is one of the toughest things for a combo deck to do. Good to fetch this with Primeval Titan when you're about to go for the win, if you think that someone's going to try to counter you. Not very good in your opening hand, that's for sure. And I don't play Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth because so many people play black and they don't play as solid color fix as I do, and I just don't want to give them free color fix. But it's still a solid card, definitely worth the slot. I mean, I play enough mana ramp that it's not a problem that I'm running a couple lands like this. This is an awesome land. It returns any artifact, and it comes into play untapped. It's not the best card in this deck. It's not a Sharm deck, obviously, or something like that, but I play a lot of mana rocks, birthing pods, some important artifacts to recur. Mainly with the mana, like, if they're not exiling them with a return to dust or something like that, and they're just destroying them, it's going to be easy for me to get them back. This is one of the best lands in the deck. Sack Outlet, one of the only sack outlets in my deck. Sack outlets let me go infinite with the Eternal Witness combos, infinite turns, things like that when you're recurring her from the graveyard with Volrath Stronghold or Sheoldred. You can do the same thing with Skull Clamp. Psalm Simulacrum, also awesome with Skull Clamp when you're sacking things. I mean, it just has so many uses. You can bring these two out together with the Primeval Titan. It's pretty nasty if you've already got a pretty good color base when you're at your 6 to summon them, which in this deck you typically do. Grabbing these two is a pretty safe bet, especially since people are probably going to try to kill him. And if you get the untap and he's back in play and someone tries to maybe steal him with a treachery or something, at least you can sack him. Or when you're done with them, clamp them up. And, you know, there's lots of things you can do with these things. They're really versatile. They're both extremely good. Return a creature, Volrath Stronghold. Vesuva, it's everywhere you've ever been. Can't copy the legendaries with it. Well, you can, but it'd be stupid. But every other land it can copy, which is awesome. It is very awesome. There's a couple other legendary lands, but yeah. Artifacts. Start with the first one every deck should have. Soul Ring. Yes. Soul Ring is awesome in every deck because it's 1 mana and taps for 2. That's broken. But yeah, it's awesome. This is actually worth tutoring for with something like Vamp Tutor or Demonic Tutor early in the game because it's like 2 time walks. I mean, seriously, having this in your opening hand increases your chances of winning so much. It's ridiculous, but yeah, every deck should run this card. My next Trinket Mage target, and my only other one in the deck, sadly at this time, is Skull Clamp. It's not the best in this deck as it can be completely degenerate in something like Elves or something with a lot of 1/1s, but every time I get this card I get at least 4 cards out of it, which is like a net of 3, so it's better than a Divination for like about the same cost net total. It's always 1 at a time. I mean, usually I get 6+ cards out of this guy, and yeah, having a second Trinket Mage target is nice, especially one that if I do get both of them and I draw him, at least I can sack him away and make him a Divination himself. Solid cards. This guy is actually much nastier. This is like a Sensei's Divining Top on crack. Pretty much with sack lands and anything that lets you shuffle your deck, this is absolutely broken. It's awesome with Damia. You get a look at a brand new hand and get a chance to combo out much more effectively when you're playing with 14 cards instead of 7. Let's just put it that way. And when you're shuffling, it's more like access to, I don't know, 25 something plus cards when you're shuffling a bunch. I mean, with this card in play, your odds of winning suit increase a lot. And you find cards like this that enable combos. This bounces the Witness, pretty easily known combo, the Crystal Shard. Yeah, you can also bounce pretty much any ETB creature in this deck. You can play it for 4 to bounce a general or anything that's pesky that's in play if they tapped out. Like the turn you play it, you can risk to study people to technically locks their mana down by 1 if they really can't have something bounce to. It's a really solid card in general, and the fact that it enables so many stupid combos and things, definitely worth the slot. Bob, Crooked Bowl of Worlds. I think I've talked about this card enough. Plus, I'll add in Armageddon from Zerk and be a bitch. But you've heard my combos, I think, with Walk the Aeons, Azusa enough. The card is pretty much good in any deck. I've thought about cutting it from the Miri deck mainly because I only have like 1 copy of it. And I want both decks to be playable at the same time, so I can give one to a friend. But, yeah, it should be in almost every deck along with the Fetchlands. The engine is just so strong. And when you're playing green, almost begs me to play Exploration and stuff like that too, which has been like brought up by someone. Can't remember who. Someone who had like a Doogie Howser picture in his setup. With Dami, it's really strong, but I'm only running 36 lands, and the Azusa is easier to get with the Survival of the Fittest, things like that. And she's a little bit stronger in that it's 2. Not to mention that kind of makes it the lock combo with the Walk the Aeons and stuff. I just don't really have the slot for it when I'm only running 36 lands, I think. But this card is solid. Manorak. Awesome Manorak. Better than Darksteel Ingot. Ramps 2 of any color. And it's a T3 drop. Can't get much better than that. Except for 4 mana, ramps 3. Colorless. But it's like pay 1 to cast it, really, since you can tap for 3 the turn you play it. I mean, I guess you lose some of your color sources, so you can't like say that for like a turn 4 or something like that. But the card is really solid. Ramps 3. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Birthing Pod. Ooh, everyone loves Birthing Pod. There's lots of stupid things you can do with Birthing Pod in this deck. Persist into Mikael. I've got lots of ETB effects. Solemn Simulacrum, Primeval Titan. You can drop out Consecrated Sphinx, Rune Scar Demon, Pollencron to set a combo off, Shieldred after you've dumped stuff. With the Mikael, you can redump things and get them back. I mean, you can tutor up Body Double when you got something nasty killed or set it up. I mean, there's so many things you can do. I got Glen Eldendra. I mean, there's a Birthing Pod toolbox, so let's just put it that way. The card is really, really good. Gilded Lotus. Yeah, some people don't like it, kind of the same reason they don't like the double lands. I really like it. I mean, in an extra turn deck, it's just amazing. Being able to drop this out, like, when you're setting up the extra turn combo and you're waiting for people to tap out, or like, you're trying to get out something big like a Mana Reflection to go off with 9 mana, and then start your Time Warp, and then you start extra turns and tutor, and, you start your Chain of Death, pretty much. If I show you like a piloting of the deck, I mean, you chain out pretty easily once you cast that first extra turn, and being able to drop like a 3 mana accelerator that's only, costing really 2 on your turn, and it gives you the colored mana so you're not wasting the sources. Really good combo card. I mean, dropping like a Time Warp into a Time Stretch into a Tooth and Nail GG. Yeah, I mean, the card's really strong. I don't care if someone kills it. Every card in my deck is worth being killed. Let's get to the enchantments. Another thing that should be killed when it hits the board. Survival of the Fittest. If you've never seen this card played, then I'm not going to be able to explain to you how absolutely broken this card is. But let's just say it's really broken. You can use it as many times as you want. Dump things. Get them with Body Double. Just go get the best thing in your deck. Maybe you need a mana ramp at the beginning. This card is anything and everything. It's 2 mana. As many times as you want. Broken. Next enchantment.